Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another predictions video, and in today's video I'm going to be predicting the Baumgardner versus Linardatou fight. If you aren't new around here though and you're subscribed, please do so, like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, going into this fight, Baumgardner is 14-1 with 7 KOs, and Linardatou is 16-2 with 6 KOs. This fight is for the IBF, IBO, WBA, WEC and WBO World Super Featherweight titles. Baumgardner's last fight was a win via unanimous decision versus Khaled, and Linardatou's last fight was a win via unanimous decision versus Vujovic. Baumgardner is a 29 and Linardatou is a 35, so of course that relatively big age gap there. This is in Baumgardner's home country of USA and in her resident town of Detroit, state of Detroit. Baumgardner's loss came via split decision versus Linardatou back in 2018, so of course that is the reason why they are running this back. It has a little bit of a storyline to it. Of course, Linardatou was meant to fight Mayer back a few months ago now, but that one didn't end up happening because Linardatou couldn't get the visa. But of course it seems like that's all sorted and all fixed now with everything, and I think the reason why it's taken this long to be made again, of course Linardatou went up in weight and she went up to super lightweight and did her own thing there, and Baumgartner kind of just from that loss she then came back stronger and got her own big victories herself, and I just don't feel like the path really did meet again until now, and I feel like now is a good time for this rematch to happen, possibly more for Baumgartner as this is her return. Of course she's going to be wanting to win this one, and of course Eddie Hearn's going to be wanting her to put on a good performance here, but Linardatou, I think this is going to be tough. Credit to her for taking this fight. Of course, this is a very tough fight. I mean, she's coming back down in weight. I believe this is the first time Linardatou's fought at super featherweight since 2018. She normally does campaign at super lightweight, so the fact that she's coming back down for this is credit to her, and obviously she can see the reward if she does manage to get the victory here, the undisputed titles, but I don't even know if she'll defend them, to be completely honest. It depends if she does want to stay at this weight or not. Linardatou's losses though have come against Taylor in 2019 and Pearsoon in 2016, so two top level competitors there, and no discredit for losing against them. And I mean, she only really loses against the best of the best, and arguably Baumgartner is that at the moment, but of course Baumgartner's already lost to Linardatou already, so there could be that idea of the demons in the past kind of coming to haunt Baumgartner, as of course this is the only loss she's had. You see it quite often in fighting in general. You see somebody that just can't beat, who can beat everybody else but just can't beat this one opponent who always beats them, and it seems like this is happening more and more now. But can this be the case, or will this be the case for this fight though? Baumgartner as a fighter, of course she's fast, very skilled, she shows heart, she's got great movement, quick starter, makes good adjustments throughout, she sits down on her shots, she's been looking sharp and been looking her best, and in her last fight looked very sharp coming off a performance before her last fight against Mayo where there was question marks and people were saying that she didn't win that one, but in her last one she did look very good and very sharp and did what she had to do to be able to look convincing in it, which is definitely something she wanted to do. She's a high volume fighter, definitely more technical than Linardatou, and has that more natural boxing ability, and I think the fact that she has had that fight in between Mayer and this one is definitely going to help her and help her morale and her confidence. I think if she'd have gone straight from the Mayer one to the Linardatou one, that could have ended this fight being a different story, because I felt like maybe she was a little bit deflated and maybe a little bit disheartened because of the amount of people saying that she didn't win that one against Mayer. And I think from the fact that she's now won her last fight very convincingly, it shows the importance of maybe not a warm-up fight because it's still a tough opponent, but maybe a lesser opponent to then kind of build yourself up and get yourself into even more big fights and build up your morale. She can sometimes let fights be closer than they need to be. Sometimes she's crazily dominant and she wins really convincingly, but sometimes she'll give off a couple rounds in like the middle points. She will give off a few rounds. She did that against Mayer. That's why people thought that Mayer won. I mean, she started quick, she started well, but then in the middle she was kind of letting off a bit, and then it was a bit of a scrap for the end of who won the rounds in the end. And then of course against Linardatou there was a similar kind of story, but she just didn't do enough. And I think she's most definitely improved from that fight when she lost against Linardatou. So I feel like this definitely could be a different story, but it could not be as well. Like I said, the demons in the past, they could definitely haunt you. She has all the pressure, of course. She's not as comfortable on the back foot, and that's something that Linardatou is definitely going to want to make Baumgardner have to do, and she's definitely improved on it. But especially in when she fought against Linardatou, the problem was that she was again on the back foot and she just wasn't countering, and she's used to being able to dictate. And she also fought Linardatou's fight in that last fight. She kind of went to be a scrappy kind of war fight, and she didn't have to do that. And I feel like she also could do with a bit of a tighter defense, especially against somebody that does hit hard like Linardatou. She might not be known for her KOs, but she does hit hard in her own respect, and so I feel like she definitely will need to tighten up that defense. Linardatou as a fighter, though, she's physically strong. She of course is used to being the smaller fighter, so it's not massive in this, but she's used to it. She's got that intense pace and pressure. She's consistent. She wants to brawl. She wants a war. She's powerful, but like I said, not known for the KOs, and she's tough. I think that's something which is definitely going to make whatever fight Linardatou's in a good fight, is the fact that she's going to be wanting this brawl and wanting to put on that pace and that pressure and make it intense and make it not an easy fight for anybody, and really have to test her opponent's technical ability and their skill to see if it's up to the level to be able to keep a Linardatou away from them. Because if they do try and fight a brawl and do fight their fight, then they're definitely going to get hit with bigger shots, and things that might not want to happen will definitely end up happening. Linardatou, though, she will have to win clearly, most definitely. In Baumgardner's home state, it will definitely have to be a convincing win. She gets outboxed at times, and obviously, like I said, it will have to be a tough operator, and I mean, Taylor did it, but not many people can do it. She does headhunt a bit, and I feel like against Baumgardner, if she does have that tight defense, and she's going to have that tight defense, because otherwise she could get caught with a big shot. She gets frustrated when she can't land, and if Baumgardner can use her ability and her movement, she's got very good movement, so if she can use that, then she could definitely find success in frustrating Linardatou. She can also be reckless in Linardatou, so Baumgardner could try countering her. I know she's not especially known for being an amazing counterer, but she's not terrible either in her own respect. And she can be quite one-dimensional. I feel like when you work out Linardatou, she can be quite one-dimensional. It's just working her out in the first place, which can be quite difficult. Baumgardner, of course, is the favourite for this fight, and I think that Baumgardner will win via unanimous decision. Like I said, if it goes to decision, I think Baumgardner's got it easy. I think Linardatou could definitely win a couple rounds here, but I think like Baumgardner's going to find success in the early, find success in the late, and not do what she's done a couple of times where she's not found success in the late, but maybe give 1 or 2 rounds away. But I think Linardatou could slow down a little bit, and I feel like Baumgardner's got that kind of athleticism to be able to win and outwork her and still be able to put on a good performance. I'd like to see a good Baumgardner performance. I feel like when she fights really well, she does look very impressive and is an amazing fighter, and I'd like to see that, and I hope that we will see that. And then possibly who she could go on to next, I don't really know, to be completely honest. I mean, a rematch against Maya is always in the talks and probably will be always until it ends up happening. Persoon is another top ranked, probably the second best top ranked super featherweight, and she's fought a lot of opponents, so it could happen. I've even put Serrano here. I feel like other than Persoon and Mayer, there's not really many other options that could be at the level where Baumgardner is, unless Baumgardner's wanting to step down, which I'm sure she's not really wanting to do. So Serrano could be another option if she's wanting to go down into the featherweight division. That could make for a big fight in the females, female divisions, female fights. And I think for the moment, Serrano's not really got a big opponent, because it seems like Taylor's rematching Cameron, so that talk of Taylor and Serrano again is kind of gone. So Serrano's kind of waiting for a big fight, and obviously she's got a quite big one coming up in August, but after that she's not got loads of options, I don't think, herself, bar possibly Sky Nicholson, but that could be a little while still as well. So I think that Baumgardner versus Serrano could be an option. Of course, Serrano has to win her fight as well. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like if you didn't, like, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.